So I also want to understand in terms of the investment when we are talking about even in the startup ecosystem, we had in the initial days of the startup companies coming in, a lot of foreign fund used to come in to support them. Now a local fund generation is also being propelled. So is that important that we have our local fund generation to support the startups in India and not to depend on foreign funds only to back them up to become big?
No, very critical, because even today 75% of the funding coming into the startup movement is coming from abroad. Indian pension funds, Indian insurance companies, high net individuals, Indian corporates must put money into the Indian startup movement. And that is the way for India to grow. It's very important that Indian money must reach Indian startups.
Why did we take so long, do you think, or we did not take long, if I can say, correct it, to come to this whole energy where the youth felt like, okay, now I can do my business? Is that we have overridden the fear and suddenly become like, we can have our own business and take the risk in the market and not wait for a job to fall on our lap?
So look at Silicon Valley, for instance. I mean, startups flourish because students from universities go and do new businesses. There is an easy flow of money which takes place. There are new ideas being generated. So we have to, what we've been able to create is young people from academic institutions getting into new disruption. We now need to create a larger flow of resources for them. We also need to ensure that not merely some universities, but all IITs, all IIMs, and all triple IITs have incubators.
Okay.
They should all do constant hackathons. They should always encourage young students to do disruption. That's how the system will grow and evolve. So we are, if you want to be the #1 nation in the world on startups, which is what our ambition is, we should ensure that we are able to get into deep tech. We are able to have more patient capital, because deep tech requires a lot of patient capital. And we should also have a lot of Indian money flowing in here. And we should have many more women entrepreneurs, as the Prime Minister has said today.
Why do you say so? Why do you encourage women?
Because 50% of our population is women. If women don't become great startup entrepreneurs, India will never be able to grow. We are talking about India growing at 9 to 10% for 3 decades. And that young energy, new vibrancy, new dynamism of the startups should actually enable India to grow. And that will only happen if there are many more women entrepreneurs.
Do you ever fear that this whole aspiration to become the unicorn, or this has become the new, not a trend word, but startups coming up, there are fallouts also in certain companies? It might be due to some bad decisions or learning on their way.
So 2 things I've been stressing. One is good corporate governance, which must be done. Good audit, good financial management is important. And second, my view is that there must be orderly exits by VC firms, so that valuation should not become the end objective. It should be good business opportunities, because today's startup is tomorrow a leading company.
Okay, you look at them growing into giants.
Infosys was once a startup which has become a great company. So we should think of producing 1,000 Infosys in India to grow. And that would require very mature leadership of young entrepreneurs. Young entrepreneurs, startup entrepreneurs are constantly doing innovative and disruptionist things. But they have to make great companies. In the long run, startups must become great companies of tomorrow.
Does a founder have a role to play? What are the qualities you think a founder of a startup should have?
The founder of a company has a great role to play. He must be seasoned, he must be matured, he must be innovative, he must be a risk taker. But more than anything else, he must be a great leader to produce a great company in the long run.